Retiring is a big milestone in life, but it's not just about financial planning. It's also about setting yourself up to enjoy this new chapter in life. Now, one of my most popular videos ever was about the 5 purchases that people regretted making in retirement, things like RVs and timeshares. Well, in today's video, I want to share 7 things that people often tell me they're happy they purchased in retirement. And these purchases are more than something you buy, but they can be an investment in your peace of mind, in health, and in happiness. And so today I want to walk you through the list. And the third thing I mentioned, I think a few of you may end up forwarding this video on to your spouse. So hopefully I don't cause any issues at home. But first, my name is Kevin Lum. I'm a certified financial planner, and this channel is dedicated to helping 1 million people retire without worry. Now, the first item that I recommend you invest in as you retire is a home gym. Now, if you're one of those weird people who has no trouble getting up, self-motivating yourself and getting down to the gym, then you probably don't need to install a home gym. But if you're like most of us, it's really hard to motivate yourself to get out of the house, particularly if there's inclement weather, and to get to the gym. But staying active is one of the most important things you can do to help facilitate a healthy and fulfilling retirement. But it's really hard for most of us to get ourselves to a gym. But that's where it's really important to invest in a home gym, because with a home gym, there are no excuses, right? You can't say it's too cold or it's raining. You have everything you need right there, whether it be a treadmill or free weights or a yoga mat. Personally, I invested in a few things. I invested in a treadmill, I invested in some free weights and a mat, and I invested in a tonal. And the first time I ever saw a tonal, I thought it was some futuristic item. It is basically a box that you put on the wall that allows me to do about 90% of the workouts that I did at the gym, but I'm able to do it from my home. And there's a trainer on the screen that walks you through your form and helping make sure you're doing it right. But for me and my wife, who are both really busy individuals, right? We have a kid in school, I have a YouTube channel, as you know, and I also run a financial planning business. And so it's hard for me to find time to get to the gym. But just having a room in our house, or in my case, in the garage, that I can go to work out has been incredibly helpful for keeping me consistent with my workout. Now, I still miss some days, but I am way more consistent than I was before I had to get myself down to a gym. The other thing that's great about a home gym is you can focus on equipment that supports your fitness goals and accommodates any physical limitations that you have. So for some of you, you may not need a squat rack, you just need some resistance bands. And for others of you, retirement is the time in life that you're going to get jacked. And so you might want to build out an incredible home gym. Now, there is a point of diminishing returns, right? If you end up building out the gym too fancy, it's just not worth it. And you probably need to get yourself down to a gym. But if you're like me, having a few free weights and the tonal and a treadmill, that's all I need. And ultimately, it's fairly cost effective. I've run the numbers and I probably don't save money with a home gym, but it seems to be about break even. I feel a little like a broken record. But one of the best investments you can make in retirement is in your health. And a home gym is an excellent way to make fitness a part of that daily routine. So first, you want to invest in a good home gym. Second, you want to invest in a good night's sleep. A good night's sleep is priceless and it's worth every penny. And you can invest in a good night's sleep in a variety of ways. You can buy a new bed. A bed is a great way to help you sleep better. Making sure you have a bed that's comfortable, that you don't wake up every morning sore from, or a bed that wakes you up in the middle of the night. And I'm sure there's a million YouTube videos about how to purchase the perfect bed. There are supplements you can purchase. There's a guy by the name of Andrew Huberman who has a podcast. And he's got an entire podcast that go on 2 to 3 hours on all the different things you can do to improve your sleep. And I may even see if I can find me one and put a link to it in the description below. But there are all these different ways that you can improve your sleep, supplements, eye mask, making sure your room is cool enough or warm enough or whatever it might be. Maybe it's a new duvet cover or new sheets. Whatever it is, a good night's sleep is a great investment, because not only will you wake up feeling well rested and you won't be overly tired, but there's a ton of research connecting your sleep with your long-term health outcomes. So not only will you feel more well rested, but you can also be much healthier. So investing in a good night's sleep is worth every penny. The next thing you want to invest in is a good, reliable car. One of the best decisions I helped my mom make was buying a great, dependable vehicle with a long warranty. In her case, at a 6-year bumper to bumper warranty. Now, this is important for a number of reasons. First of all, you'll have low maintenance costs. You don't want to spend the early years of retirement dealing with breakdowns and costly repairs. Now, if you're super handy and you like doing that, more power to you. But for many of us, a reliable car is going to give us freedom to travel without the stress of whether we're going to arrive. And maybe this is my own personal hobby horse, but I grew up in a family that didn't have much money, and we always had very old, broken down, used cars. I was always a little worried whether we were going to make it from point A to point B. And if you're like most people I've worked with, you'll drive this car for a long time. So invest in a vehicle that fits your needs and your lifestyle. Think about things like comfort and accessibility. As you age, things like ease of entry and visibility and the overall comfort are going to become more important. So think about, like, are the seats up high? This is really important for my mother-in-law. She has a hard time seeing. And so a car with higher seats, that large windows and advanced safety systems are really important. So they're not just nice to have, but they're really important things to have. Now, the next thing I'm about to say goes against all my other advice, right? You should buy a reliable car that's dependable, that has good safety ratings, that has large windows that you can see well from, and all that. For some of you, this could be the time to make an irresponsible car purchase. So as you're retiring, this could be the time in life to purchase that car that you've always had your eye on. And there's some car, and maybe it's a Corvette, or I don't know what it is. It's not comfortable. It's not easy to get into and out of, and it's very irresponsible. But it's the car you've always dreamed of having, and you've always made the good and responsible decision. If you have the resources and it doesn't hurt your retirement plan, this could be the moment in life to be a little irresponsible. Now, you should know that many people who buy a nice fancy car, that bucket list car, end up regretting it. So with that caveat, with that information, with that knowledge, for some of you, it might be the right thing to do, right? The early years of retirement is going to be the time that you'll have the most time to enjoy that car. And so it might be the one time in your life when it could be the slightly responsible thing to do. Now, there are a variety of ways that you can purchase that car. You can buy it outright. You could potentially do a short-term lease, like a couple of year lease. For some of you, maybe you should just rent it from a luxury car dealer. You know, there are certain car rental companies that rent luxury cars. Maybe rent it for a month or 6 months. And when you go to rent it, the price is going to be eye-popping, but it's also way less expensive than purchasing the car. And so if you're trying to decide, is it really worth it? Maybe you can get it out of your system by just renting that car. But for some of you, it could be the right thing to do, because honestly, if there was ever a time in your life to do something irresponsible, like buying that nice fancy car, that sports car. So anyway, that is the one thing that kind of goes against a lot of my best judgment. But I also know that life is about trade-offs, and not everything can be decided in a spreadsheet. And if there's just something you've always wanted and always had your eye on, this could be the time in life that you can make that irresponsible decision. Now, switching gears, no pun intended, from an irresponsible, expensive car, the next thing you might want to consider investing in is great luggage. And if you're going to buy luggage, you want to look for luggage that's high quality, lightweight, and can withstand a lot of travel. You want to make sure it has ease of use, has the 360 spinner wheels and built-in locks and expandable compartments. Again, I'm not an expert in buying luggage. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But there are people on YouTube who know a lot about this and who've thought about this a lot. But as you retire, one thing you want to think about investing in is just getting some good luggage that can be fun for travel. The other day, my wife and I were walking through the airport on the way back from Thanksgiving, and I turned to her and I said, I'm so glad we invested in good luggage, because we were just rolling it with ease. I was watching other people kind of messing with it and having trouble with theirs, and ours just rolled so well. It was light. It was easy to use. And it wasn't that expensive. We purchased a brand called Away. There are tons of other great brands, but I think that purchasing some great luggage as you enter retirement can be a wonderful investment. So we talked about investing in a home gym. We've talked about investing in your sleep, and we've talked about investing in a reliable car. And we've also talked about investing in good luggage. So next thing you might want to consider investing in is your home, because you're going to spend a lot of time during your retirement in your home. And so it's worth making it as comfortable and functional as possible. So just a few things that clients have invested in recently. One client invested in fixing up their backyard to make it just livable and just a lovely place to hang out. Another client is installing a hot tub, and another client is installing a new kitchen, right? They love to cook, and their kitchen was outdated, and their dishwasher made really loud noises and was hard to use, and their stove didn't work very well. And one of their favorite things to do in the world is to cook. And so you're going to spend a lot of time potentially in your home in retirement. And so if there's something that's always kind of bugged you, right? You hated that you ran out of hot water, and maybe it's now time to buy a tankless hot water heater. Or you've always hated the backyard and you love being outside and spending time in nature, but you have a backyard you don't like being in. It might be worth upgrading and building a backyard that you really love being in. Or if you, like I said, if you like cooking, maybe, upgrading a kitchen. So just think through, are there any things in my home that could make it more comfortable or functional for me as I retire? Because if you're going to have to put that investment in your home at some point, assuming you have the resources, go ahead and make that investment early on. From our personal life, we bought a home a couple of years ago, it had a terrible kitchen, and we made the decision that we were going to splurge on our kitchen. And splurging meant we spent about $3,000 to $4,000 more to buy nicer appliances. So, I mean, to me, it was a splurge. So we bought IKEA cabinets, and now you can buy panels to put on the front of your IKEA cabinets to make it look like you got custom fancy cabinets. So we bought IKEA cabinets, and then we splurged on a couple of appliances, and it's the best money we've ever spent. Every time I'm cooking in that kitchen, I will think to myself, or I'll even often say out loud to my wife, I'm so glad that we spent the money investing in this kitchen. For the first time in my life, I enjoy spending time in the kitchen. I enjoy cooking because it's just easy. It's so much easier. We have enough cabinet space, and our stovetop is easy to use, and it heats a pot of water up quickly, and our dishwasher is quiet and doesn't sound like it's a jet that's trying to take off. And anyway, it's a good investment. So think about it. If you have the resources, are there areas of your home that have always bugged you? And could you invest in it to make it more comfortable and more functional? Next, and this isn't something you're going to purchase, but it is an investment you want to make. You want an emergency fund. An emergency fund is that pile of money that you can tap into if something goes wrong. Retirement can be unpredictable. Life is unpredictable. And so having a financial safety net can provide you some peace of mind. Whether it's an unexpected medical expense or home repair or family emergency, having a cushion ensures that these surprises don't derail your retirement budget. And you want to make sure that the money is fairly liquid. So unlike your retirement account, which, you have to pay taxes if you take it out, if it's in a qualified account or whatever it might be, you want some fairly liquid emergency savings funds that you can access quickly in an emergency. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have it invested in short-term government treasuries or someplace prudent where you're earning some interest, but you also want it to be liquid fairly quickly where you don't have to pay tax and penalties to get the money out. And depending on where you are in retirement, how old you are, where you keep that money may adjust. But ultimately, what you need to know is you want to have an emergency savings fund. You probably want to have at least 6 months of living expenses set aside in a high yield savings account or a money market account or short-term government treasuries to make sure you're always prepared for whatever life throws your way. Okay, number 7, and this one may seem a bit self-serving. It probably is a bit self-serving, but a financial advisor is one of the most valuable investments that you can make before and after you retire. Even if you've done a great job of saving and planning, having an expert help you navigate the complexities of retirement financial situations or retirement finances can be incredibly helpful, right? Tax strategies. An advisor can help you optimize your withdrawals to minimize taxes and maximize income. In investment management, a good advisor will ensure your portfolio is balanced and aligned with your goals. And then the other kind of intangible that hiring a financial advisor can help you with is peace of mind. Knowing that a professional who thinks about retirement every single day is guiding your financial decisions can really help reduce stress and help you enjoy your retirement more. And I get it. I am a cheapskate. I am cheap by nature, and the idea of paying somebody else to help me do these things that I can do myself. Right? I know a lot of you, you've reached out, you've got a million spreadsheets, you've run all these calculations and you purchased bold end and you're using right capital. But the benefit of an advisor, if you choose the right advisor, someone who specializes in retirement planning and who is also a fiduciary, has your best interest at heart, is that that's all they think about all day long is the way to optimize your retirement, to optimize your portfolio, to optimize your tax efficiency. And there's some interesting studies. Vanguard has done one that talks about the value of hiring a financial advisor can be more than whatever fee you end up having to pay. I mean, within reason. As long as they're doing the things that a good financial advisor should be doing, right? They're doing tax planning, they're doing investment management, they're rebalancing your portfolio, they're helping you look around the next corner and be prepared for the unexpected. In my opinion, again, this is how I make my money, so this is a bit self-serving. But in my opinion, it's one of the best investments to make. Okay, thank you for sitting with me through these 7 items. And really, as I've continued to say over and over again, these are not just things you buy, they're also ways that you can invest in a stress-free, enjoyable, and fulfilling retirement. So I'd be interested, which of these purchases are you considering making, or are there any that I've missed? Again, thanks for watching. And if you missed my video on 5 things that people regret purchasing in retirement, I will go ahead and link to the video here.